Well, hello friends, and welcome back to Runaway with HandK. I guess you may have noticed that we now have a Tacoma in place of the F-150. And we've been asked what our thoughts were about the smaller truck. So, we're here to present our thoughts on some of the differences of our likes and dislikes with both trucks. We'll cover the size differences and what we think in the cab of the truck, in the bed of the truck. We'll cover storage that we've used in both vehicles in the bed of the truck. We'll cover a little bit about the communications and how they set up within the cab of the truck. And at the end of the video, we'll kind of cover what we think, which one we think is a better truck, better platform. So stay tuned. Hope we don't bore you to death. And here we go. So first off, I guess we'll talk about the size, the space, the comfort. And I'll let my lovely wife go first.
Well, first off, I loved Mongo. Mongo was the name of our F-150. Loved Mongo. Huge truck, plenty of space. Comfort. I love sitting up, love being able to look out over everything. It was just, I loved Mongo.
Yep, like you said, Mongo had a lot of space inside. Plenty of room in the front for us, for all our gear that we had up there. Lots of room in the back for a ZZ and a ton of space to put things we're going to carry with us. A cooler, our food box, just everything we needed, extra clothing, it all fit back there in that back area. It was so big, in fact, we were able to lift the back seat up, and I built a platform with tie downs on it so that we could secure everything when we get up on the trails.
It was just huge.
It was huge. It was huge. And the fact that we had the truck lifted up high off the ground, like she said, gave you a nice view over everything.
Yeah, it did.
Now with the Tacoma, quite a bit smaller in the cab.
Yes.
We're shoulder to shoulder almost, so it keeps us nice and cozy.
Almost like a Jeep. A little bit bigger than a Jeep.
Just a tiny bit bigger than a Jeep was,
yes.
Right. And the back seat area might actually be a little tighter than what it was in the back seat of the Jeep.
Oh.
I don't know. But
yeah,
it's a lot smaller back there. Still plenty of room for a ZZ behind the passenger seat and halfway across. And we just had to be a little more frugal about what we put back there, which is probably a good thing.
It is.
Because in the F-150 we carried way too much.
We did.
So yeah, that's that. We don't sit as high. We bought the off-road package, the TRD off-road, so it's already got a lift. I think it's got 11 inches of clearance is what they claim. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any lifting on this truck yet or not. May go with bigger tires someday, but right now we're just going to leave it alone. Keep the warranty, number one. And I really don't see us doing a lot of the rock crawling type trails that we've done in the past.
Yeah.
We're going to be more like overlanding stuff, I think. As far as the back of the truck, we installed on Mongo, on the F-150, we had installed the decked, D-E-C-K-E-D system. I have a video on that if you want to look for it, or I can put a link down if I think about it. That system is awesome. If you've got a full-size truck, I highly recommend you go in with that system. Plenty of storage space, more than we need. Again, I ended up packing more stuff in it probably than we ever used.
Right, and it is expensive.
It was very expensive.
It is. It's very expensive.
And it's a good thing because I had everything I needed if something happened, but it's also a bad thing because I just carry so much stuff and add so much more weight. Where with the Tacoma, the deck system, I looked at it for the Tacoma. It tends to sit a little higher and not give you a whole lot of room from the top of the deck system up to the bed railing.
Yeah.
So that's one drawback I had of not putting it in, and the other one was it's just as expensive by maybe $100 or two as the one for a full-size truck.
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't give you near the space for stuff, and it's one big solid drawer instead of two drawers, because two drawers just made it too small and you really didn't have any way to put anything in
Right.
it, according to depth. So I did a home built system. I took some plywood and some tubs from Walmart or Home Depot and kind of built my own system. I'll put a link to that down there too if you care to look at it. It's worked
not
out.
pretty, but it's nice.
It's nothing pretty. And nobody would look at it and say, "Oh my goodness." Well, they might in a "Oh my goodness" kind of thing, but you know, it works. I got pieces of plywood down there, and the tubs that sit on top of that, and I got a box built over it. So I just pull those pieces of plywood out, and my tubs are right there. It works out great. It does what we want to do, and it keeps us from putting too much stuff in the truck. So that's where we're at between the two of those.
Right.
I guess the next thing we talked about the back seat.
Oh, we also put a cab. We put
both trucks we put a cab topper, a cab topper on it,
which I thought was a game
camper
changer.
topper.
Yeah. I love it.
Nothing else. It keeps everything dry, and it keeps honest people from reaching over the bed of the truck and grabbing something. The communications on the trails when we are out with friends and other people and other groups, we'll use CB radio and we'll use GMRS radio. And as you could have seen in the video of the communications for the truck, according to you, it looked like what?
It looked like an airplane, the dash of an airplane, a cockpit. I mean, it was just lights and
I had both
everything.
GMRS radio microphone, the CB microphone. I had a tablet up there for running Gaia.
We had our phones.
For the trails, our phones were up there, and a Garmin GPS was up there. So yeah, I had quite a bit of stuff all that.
Oh, and we also had our
and a
camera.
Yeah, that was a windshield. That
well,
wasn't
but still, it was up there.
Now the Tacoma, not near as cluttered. I realized all the time we've been out, I think the CB only got used once, and that was early on when we were in the Jeep. Once in the truck too, because somebody with us didn't have a GMRS, so we relayed information on the CB. But we find that GMRS radio is what 90% of people are using nowadays. CB's kind of gone by the wayside. Even with the truckers, it's kind of on the wayside. They use phones more than that nowadays a little bit. They still do use it, but not near as much. It's mainly highway use now.
Yeah.
It's good to have if you're going out somewhere by yourself. Just one extra added piece of communication. So yeah, I don't use near as much stuff, and so my dash is not near as cluttered with everything in the Tacoma. So that's another instance where smaller has made us dial back a little bit and decide what we really need with us and what is just extra.
Right. Just what is it packing and yeah.
And that kind of covers all of that. So overall, yes, the F-150 is much larger. Gives you a whole lot more space.
Yes.
The fuel tank at 36 gallons gave me a much longer range before I needed to worry about getting more gas. What else? The Tacoma has about half of that size of tank, 18.5 gallon tank on that, so my range is not near as far. But my butt thanks us for having to stop more often.
I thank him. But no, I guess between the two likes, dislikes, or just comparing the two, yes, love the F-150. But for us and moving forward with what we're doing, I think the Tacoma is it's much more practical.
Yeah. It's for what we do. For what we plan to do. We plan to go doing a lot more overlanding and some of it in forests, where some of the trails may have proven a little bit tight for that F-150 to get through with the trees and trying to get between trees and make tight turns. And the Tacoma is going to be much, much better at that.
Yeah.
It's not too much longer than our Wrangler was. Doesn't have quite the departure angle and all that stuff, but we don't plan to do what we did with the Wrangler too much. So overall, for us, I think this Tacoma is going to work out best for the majority of what we want. There's times, yes, I probably wish I had a big truck for different things outside of what we're doing.
But we don't haul stuff.
All we pull is our camper
We don't do
trailer,
anything,
and that Tacoma pulls that trailer just as good as that F-150 did. I don't really notice it behind on either one of them, so there's no difference between pulling this trailer we have. The biggest advantage of the F-150 is the roominess and the size and the comfort. The Tacoma, being smaller and more nimble on tighter trails, it's still very comfortable for me. I mean, I can drive it just as far. I can drive it from gas stop to gas stop without worrying about shifting and squirming.
And you're
So
6'2".
for me, the comfort isn't that much of a difference between the two. Overall, like I said, for us, I think the Tacoma is going to serve us very well. For us, which is better? The Tacoma.
Yeah, the Tacoma.
But if you're on the fence about what size truck you need, what size truck is best, I think the best thing to do is sit down and think about what you want to do with this truck that you're looking for, what types of terrain you're going to be going across. Basically, which truck would do more of what you might be thinking about doing.
Right.
As with anything, nothing will do everything. So you really need to pick what's going to work best for you.
Right.
I hope this video helps someone. If even just one person, it's worth me doing this. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time we run away. Since making this video, we've had another twist. The Tacoma just really hasn't been working out for us. It's been a great truck, but it just doesn't feel right. I don't know how to explain it, but that's how we feel. So we have gone back to the Jeep Wrangler. More details to come in future videos. If you like our content, hit the like button, subscribe, and then click that bell to get notifications of new videos.